This isn't about chasing youth. It's about chasing clarity. If you're over 60, you know the feeling. The low hum of anxiety, the slight drift of focus, the name that hangs just out of reach, right there on the tip of your tongue. You feel the pressure to stay sharp, stay relevant, and most importantly, stay independent. Maybe you've tried the complex brain games. Maybe you bought the expensive supplements. Maybe you feel guilty because the clutter in the garage, or worse, the clutter in your head, feels heavier than it used to. I'm a physician. I see it every day. People looking for a big, complicated medical solution to problems that start small, right in the living room. They think they need a prescription for presence. They don't. I'm also a scriptwriter specialized in healthy aging. I know how to structure a scene, and your daily life is your most important scene. The script needs to be simple, the direction clear, and the noise level low. The truth is, emotional stability, memory retention, and deep restorative rest don't require a pharmaceutical revolution. They require an environmental refinement, a 2-degree shift in how you use light, how you breathe, or how you manage the sound in your house can restore calm faster than any hour-long meditation session. Seriously, we're talking about 3 minutes that restore calm better than a weekend retreat. It's about recognizing that the outside world is constantly mirroring and modulating your internal state. The fastest way to regain presence isn't complicated yoga. It's often simpler. A Japanese ritual to reduce mind chatter, performed not in a studio, but right there in your silent kitchen. Want to know the secret? You can install true peace in your living room in the next 24 hours. It starts by understanding what is currently stealing your peace and overloading your beautiful aging brain. The clutter that steals memory. We seek mental clarity, but we live in visual chaos. Think about your kitchen counter right now. Is it clear? Or is it a battlefield of unopened mail, half-read magazines, spare keys, and last week's grocery list? This is where the mistake happens. You sit down to read, write, or simply relax, and your eyes sweep across that visual noise. Every item is a microtask. Every stack is an unresolved decision. Your brain is a magnificent, energy-hungry machine, and it uses precious cognitive resources just to filter out the noise you've allowed into the frame. The clutter that steals memory isn't just physical. It's energetic. It's the visual tax you pay every minute you are awake. I know, I've been there. My home office used to look like a tornado hit a library. I tried to write complex medical concepts, but the surrounding chaos translated directly into mental friction. I got overwhelmed too. The common mistake is believing you can impose order internally while tolerating disorder externally. You cannot. Order breeds clarity. The shift is immediate. Dedicate 15 minutes today to achieving one perfectly clean corner. Not the whole house, just one corner. Maybe it's the 2 square feet next to your favorite reading chair. Maybe it's the nightstand. Clear it completely. Wipe it down. Place only 2 items there. A light source, a focused lamp, not ceiling glare, and maybe a mug for tea. That's it. This becomes your anti-anxiety corner. When you sit here, your visual field is minimal. Your brain doesn't have to process external clutter. It instantly saves energy. When you reduce visual overstimulation, you create a physiological response of calm. Less noise, more peace, more clarity. Try working or reading in that specific clean corner. Notice the contrast. It's better than walking for immediate mental clarity because you stop the input overload before you start processing. You gain immediate access to focus. Silence in the room. Sharpens the mind. Visual order is half the battle. Auditory order is the other. How often is the television on in the background? Not because you are watching it, but because you dislike the feeling of total quiet. It's a habit. It's background filler. We often assume this noise is passive. It is not. The noise, especially complex human speech, news reports, or jarring commercial sounds, forces your brain to constantly allocate attention resources. Even if you aren't listening consciously, your mind is running detection protocols. For the aging brain, which is already working harder to filter sensory data, this background hum is exhausting. It degrades memory retention because the brain has less capacity left to encode new information. If you skip your slow morning, the time crucial for consolidating intentions and memories, and immediately turn on a noisy device, you invite mental fog for the rest of the day. The Japanese ritual to reduce mind chatter is profoundly simple. It's the art of ama, the intentional, beautiful void. It's silence. Try this radical act of mental hygiene. Dedicate your first waking hour to absolute auditory silence. No radio, no newsfeed, no podcasts. Instead, focus on auditory detail. Hear the refrigerator hum. Hear the birds outside. Hear your own breath. This is not passive silence. This is engaged listening. This practice is the best focus ritual that has absolutely no phone involved. It stabilizes your mood and prevents the cognitive drift that accelerates anxiety. When the world is quiet, your inner voice doesn't have to shout. You start to hear the substance of your thoughts, not just the volume. This intentional silence is the precursor to clear decision-making. If you want to remember that name or organize that thought, give your brain the quiet room it needs to operate. Sound, plus light aspirant, peace, formula. The external environment is managed through sensory input. Light controls your circadian rhythm, which governs mood, energy, and sleep. Sound controls immediate stress responses. Together, they are the foundation of deep restorative rest and reliable emotional regulation. Light discipline. We need bright light in the morning to signal wake up and trigger cortisol release, which is good in the morning. We need dim, warm, low-intensity light in the evening to prepare for rest. The common mistake? Blasting blue-spectrum light from screens, bright overhead fluorescents late at night. This confuses the brain, suppresses melatonin, and tells your nervous system, stay alert, danger is nearby. Switching to low-wattage orange or red-spectrum lamps 2 hours before bed is non-negotiable mental hygiene. It's physical evidence to your body that it's safe to wind down. Sound discipline, the bedtime breath. When you lie down, your system often brings the day's worries, the mental noise you haven't dealt with, right into the bed with you. We use sound to reverse that. Not external sound, but internal, regulating sound, your steady breath. Find a gentle, audible rhythm in your breathing. Inhale for a count of 4. Hold for 1. Exhale slowly for a count of 6. The slightly elongated exhale triggers the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest state. Focusing on the quiet sound of this deep, steady breath grounds you. It pulls your awareness away from the racing narrative of what-ifs and centers it right here, right now, in the feeling of safety. This gentle exercise is often enough to lull you into sleep deeper than any medication could promise, because it addresses the root cause. Nervous system overactivation. Clarity foods, and what to skip. We can't talk about presence and emotional stability without discussing the fueling schedule of the brain. You can tidy your room and quiet your mind, but if your fuel tanks are empty or unstable, you will crash. Forget the marketing jargon about exotic superfoods. We are focused on stability, not novelty. The primary enemy of 60-plus focus and calm is the sugar roller coaster. When you hit the mid-afternoon slump, the temptation is the carbohydrate or sugar fix, a pastry, a soda, or heavy processed snacks. This quick sugar surge provides temporary energy, followed by a precipitous crash. That crash mimics anxiety, irritability, difficulty focusing, and a dip in mood. Forget the afternoon sugar crash. It is avoidable with simple planning. Clarity foods are defined by their ability to provide sustained, stable energy delivery to the brain. This means combining protein, healthy fats, and high fiber. Morning anchor. Never start the day on pure carbs. Pair your coffee, if tolerated, with protein and fiber, a handful of walnuts, 2 eggs, or Greek yogurt. This slows glucose absorption and maintains steady energy until lunch. The midday stabilizer. If you need a snack, skip the packaged goods. Opt for a small apple with almond butter or a few ounces of cottage cheese. This maintains the stable curve your brain thrives on. Hydration is focus. Dehydration, even mild, causes significant cognitive drain, fuzzy thinking, mood shifts, and reduced memory retrieval. Before you reach for a snack or medication, reach for a glass of water. There's a specific habit for evening calm. Fruit before bed for calm dreams. This is counterintuitive to some, but a small piece of low glycemic fruit, like a handful of berries or half an apple, 30 minutes before sleep can stabilize blood sugar levels through the night, preventing the stress response caused by a natural dip in blood glucose. Stable blood sugar equals stable sleep and improved emotional regulation upon waking. And a practical note on kitchen hygiene. Do not refrigerate these if you want brain energy. Healthy oils like coconut oil or olive oil. Keep them accessible and use them daily. Healthy fats are crucial for neuronal health and communication. Free. Movement for mind, the anti-overthinking ritual. We often treat movement as a physical chore, something done purely for heart health or joint flexibility. But movement, specifically mindful movement, is the most powerful tool we possess for disrupting mental rumination. When you are stuck in a loop of worry, the anxiety cycle, it means the brain is running the same software package over and over. You need to physically interrupt the loop. This isn't high-intensity interval training. This is focused, simple movement that connects mind and body. The anchor walk. This is not about distance, it's about presence. Go outside. If you are unable to walk outside, walk slowly across your living room. The critical difference is focus. Gaze. Fix your gaze softly about 10 feet ahead. Do not scan the environment wildly. Soft gaze reduces visual stimulation and allows the brain to relax its guard. Foot. Pay exquisite attention to the mechanics of your foot. Feel the heel strike the ground, roll through the arch, push off with the toes, feel the shift of weight. Every step is an anchor grounding you in the now. Sound, synchronize your breath with your steps. 4 steps in, 4 steps out. The rhythm replaces the internal chatter. This is a form of walking meditation. It takes the abstract, exhausting quality of overthinking and gives it a concrete physical rhythm. When thoughts intrude, simply note them. Planning thought, or worrying thought, and return your attention to the feel of your foot on the ground. You are proving to yourself minute by minute that you have control over your attention. This practice is empowering. It establishes deep confidence and autonomy. Externalizing thoughts. Talk to yourself like, this anxiety and cognitive overload thrive on internal chaos. Thoughts race, merge, and spiral, often because they are never fully articulated or organized. They remain a chaotic soup of feeling and half-formed ideas. We need a method to pull the noise out of the head and put it somewhere manageable. Journaling is excellent, but it requires structure and time many people resist. There is a faster reset. Better than journaling. This 3-min reset. The goal is externalization, often through simple speech. Find your anti-anxiety corner. Sit down. Take 3 deep regulating breaths. Now, speak your thoughts aloud. Don't edit them. Don't judge them. Just verbalize the noise. I am worried about the doctor's appointment on Friday. I forgot to call Sarah back. The cat needs food. I feel tight in my shoulders. Why am I worried about Friday? Because I don't like waiting for results. Speaking thoughts aloud forces the brain to organize the information into linear, grammatical structures. It immediately makes the amorphous fear concrete and therefore manageable. It's impossible to hold 10 simultaneous chaotic thoughts when you are forced to process them 1 word at a time through your mouth. You become your own gentle listener and coach. Talk to yourself like this. Not with accusation, but with curiosity and warm direction. If you struggle with memory, that name on the tip of the tongue, say it aloud, even the attempt. It starts with a B. Maybe Ben? No, it's closer to an S, Sarah's husband. What was it? Sam? Yes, Sam. The act of vocalizing the search pathway often helps retrieve the data faster than silent agonizing. Use this 3-minute reset whenever you feel the cognitive load spiking. It is instant emotional strength and clarity. Living alone and peaceful. Anchor habits. For those living alone, the physical and mental hygiene becomes even more critical. When there is no external accountability, routines are the life raft. Anchor habits are small, non-negotiable routines that structure the day and provide emotional stability. The morning light. Anchor. First thing, open the window or step outside for 2 minutes. Expose your eyes, without looking directly at the sun, to natural daylight. This simple act resets your internal clock, stabilizes your mood, and sets the stage for proactive energy, reducing the morning anxiety often associated with waking up in the dark. Warm tea ritual. Create a focused tea or hot water time. This is the moment for your engaged silence. No phone, no TV, no reading. Just the warmth of the mug, the scent, and the steady breath. This micro moment of focused sensory pleasure grounds you completely. Micro movement. Chair ritual. Every hour, stand up and perform a simple posture correction. Shoulders back, chest open, spine tall. Take 3 deep breaths while focusing on your upright stance. Good posture isn't just physical, it communicates confidence and presence to the nervous system. Eye contact with the self. Look into the mirror for 30 seconds every day, not to examine wrinkles or flaws, but to acknowledge the self. Look at your own eyes and confirm, I am here, I am present, I am safe. This ritual builds crucial self-connection and reduces the feeling of isolation. These micro-routines stack confidence. They remind you daily that you are autonomous, capable of self-regulation, and grounded in your own space. Nagkurtirun, the 10-minute sequence for instant calm. The clarity anchor. When the noise gets loud, internal or external, use this guided sequence. Keep it gentle. Always respect your limits. Phase 1. Environment and posture, 2 minutes. Move to your anti-anxiety corner or simply sit upright in a comfortable, sturdy chair. Your feet should be flat on the floor, feeling the contact. This is grounding. Straighten your spine, letting your shoulders fall naturally. Close your eyes halfway or completely. Phase 2. Scent and sound cue, 1 minute. If you have a calming scent, a drop of rosemary oil, mint, or lavender on a tissue, take 3 slow, deliberate sniffs. This activates the limbic system, bypassing the rational brain and heading straight for the emotional control center. Set your auditory cue. Focus entirely on the sound of your own breath entering and leaving your body. Phase 3. Deep regulation, 4 minutes. Begin the 4-to-1-6 breathing rhythm. Inhale slowly for 4 counts. Hold briefly for 1 count. Exhale fully for 6 counts. Repeat this rhythm steadily. If your mind wanders, and it will, gently guide it back to the feeling of the breath moving through your body, specifically the slight stretch of your abdomen on the inhale and the release on the exhale. You are breathing out tension and breathing in calm. Phase 4. Mental release and focus. Phrase, 2 minutes. As you continue the breath, identify one area of the body holding tension, jaw, forehead, shoulders. On the next exhale, consciously release that tension. Imagine it melting away. Now, repeat a simple focus phrase internally. I am steady. I am safe. I am present. Use this phrase to replace any incoming anxious thought. Just focus on the rhythm and the meaning of the words. Phase 5. Re-entry, 1 minute. Gently wiggle your fingers and toes. Feel the chair beneath you. Notice the light behind your eyelids. Take one final full breath and open your eyes slowly, retaining the stillness you cultivated. This is powerful autonomy. If it feels uncomfortable or dizzying, stop. Adapt the pace. This routine is designed to be gentle, supportive, and completely within your control. If you have underlying medical conditions or acute psychological distress, always consult with a professional first. These practices are adjuncts to good care, not replacements for it. The path to independence. Balance, presence, and independence are not goals reserved for the lucky few. They are achievable through consistent, low-cost maintenance, mental hygiene, simple movement, food awareness, and calming rituals. The greatest misconception about aging is that decline is inevitable and irreversible. The truth is that the aging brain thrives on stability, routine, and reduced static. You don't need complex surgery or high-dose medication to manage stress and improve memory. You need better management of the inputs you allow into your system every single day. You have the power to curate your environment and regulate your internal world, starting now. Here is your challenge for the next 24 hours. 1. Choose one calming food. Replace your typical afternoon sugar tox carb crash source with a clarity food, nuts, yogurt, or an apple with protein. 2. Execute the 10-minute action. Find your anti-anxiety corner and complete the clarity anchor ritual today. Start small. Start now. The immediate relief you feel, the regained sense of safety and presence, will motivate the next step. Tell me, which calming habit will you start today? And what topic should we dive into next? Advanced sleep consolidation or detailed movement routines for joint health and anxiety? Let me know.